Breaking news, Josh Hart has been traded to the Knicks, and from what we're hearing is that it's a deal centered around Cam Reddish in return, and we assume that it has to be Cam Reddish and another player to match salaries as soon as that information comes out. But we'll talk about Josh Hart joining the Knicks right now. That's a great situation. Solid two-way wing guy who can play shooting guard and technically small forward, the wing positions, and he can even, if they wanted to go small, be a small ball power forward in a sense, with the ability of him being one of the better rebounding wings in the league. And Josh Hart's a guy that last year, in after the All-Star break, when he ended up in Portland after being traded from the Pelicans, I mean, the guy averaged 19.9 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 4 assists for the season so far. He's been averaging 9.5 points, 50% from the field, 30% from three, but he is a career 34% three-point shooter. League average, 8 rebounds a night, 4 assists, a steal a night. And he's a good defensive player. And we know as soon as the information breaks that who they do trade, the details of who they get in return, we'll talk about that. But right now, let's talk about the Knicks roster with Josh Hart, because the Knicks now, it's going to improve their defense. Tom Thibodeau gonna like himself some Josh Hart, ladies and gentlemen, and we can already see. I wonder if this move. Do you think Josh Hart will continue to come off the bench and will come off the bench or not is the question, because Quentin Grimes and Josh Hart and RJ, like obviously RJ is going to start, but it's really you wonder if, because the current starting lineup: Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Jericho Sims. Once Mitchell Robinson's back, obviously he'll take Jericho Sims' spot, but you assume that the details is it's going to be, the fact that I think Josh Hart's off the bench. Okay, you have Josh Hart come off the bench for either R.J. Barrett or Quentin Grimes, and now you have Emmanuel Quickly, Josh Hart, and the rest of the guys who are there. Because my assumption that it could potentially be a deal of Cam Reddish and Obi Toppin for Josh Hart. As soon as they release the details, we'll get into that, or I'll edit that part of the deal. But they're trading Cam Reddish and a protected future first round pick to the Blazers. So there we go. So Cam Reddish is what it's being traded, in a protected future first for Josh Hart. So Cam Reddish is being moved for Josh Hart. So they just lose Cam Reddish. So now their bench, this is a great bench. You got Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, R.J. Barrett, and Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson when healthy, Emmanuel Quickly and Josh Hart, and Isaiah Hartenstein and Deuce McBride as your main guys off the bench. That's a really good deal. Now, the Portland Trailblazers is going to replace Josh Hart with Cam Reddish. And I think that's going to be a really good deal. And I think that's going to be something that they're going to very much enjoy. So for me, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. I think Cam Reddish, if he can do what they need him to do and come in and be a shooting guard for them, that's good. It's a win-win. Portland gets a first-round pick for Josh Hart, who he could potentially, leave, and he was going to be a long-term guy. Josh Hart helps the defense, and they also get a first-round pick, even though it's protected. I think this is a great deal for both parties, and that's where I want to hear your guys' thoughts. I'm excited for Cam Reddish to be playing with Damian Lillard. Okay, that's awesome for that guy. A fresh start. I think that's a great situation. I can see lineups of Anthony Simons, Damian Lillard, Cam Reddish, and Jeremy Grant with Josef Nurkic if Nurkic stays. I really think this is a great deal. It's in the long term. It's going to benefit them, and I think it's going to be rather enjoyable. So that's definitely where I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below. What do you guys think of this deal? And are you guys a fan of, of Josh Hart, being potentially, like, I think Josh Hart's going to be really good. Not potentially, but Josh Hart potentially helping the Knicks go deep into a playoff run. Do you think this was a bad move by the Knicks to give up a first round for Josh Hart? I think it's personally like a great deal, and honestly, like it's a better deal than I think a lot of people will give him credit. So like, comment, subscribe to all that good jazz. I'm a peace out, and yeah, let's see where this goes and what ends up happening with Cam. I mean, this is a great situation for him.